This video will explain why Pandeism overcomes another significant argument often raised in favor of atheism, the inhospitable universe argument. Atheism has been defined earlier in this series as the lack of belief in a God or incomparable metaphysical systems. One argument raised by atheists against the possibility of the universe having been created to give rise to life is the undisputed fact that conditions in most of the universe are hostile to life as we know it, with the blistering cold vacuum of empty space, bathed in radiation and toxic chemicals. The pandeistic answer to this riddle is as simple as apple pie. According to Wikipedia, apple trees range up to 40 feet tall. An average apple tree, from roots to leaves, weighs several tons, and the vast majority of that is inedible to humans. To suggest the inhospitability of some parts of the universe as proof against it being designed to be fortuitous for life, is like insisting that the inedible majority of an apple tree proves that the seed was not planted to yield fruit. Who would do such a thing, clear a large plot of land and plant a seed, and wait years and years for the tree to grow to be big enough, only to harvest a few dozen kilograms of apples from this massive organism? Well, so it is. We live in a universe that is largely inhospitable, in the ways that ours is, because it is precisely such a universe that will generate life in those rare hospitable parts, just as all of the inedible parts of an apple tree are necessary to make a few edible apples. Billions of years ago, our Earth itself was a totally hostile place for most life found here today. It had to pass through a series of epochs in the development of life. In each one, life itself set the conditions that brought about the next. Another example, naked space is full of radiation, harmful outside of an atmosphere, but on the ground just enough to spur some of the mutations which drive evolution. Any who have had skin cancer or even a bad sunburn can testify that sometimes even our own life-sustaining sun can be inhospitable. Remember that apple pie? Even after we get the apples, the pie must bake for some time, in an oven, the heat of which would be dangerous to any human, before it becomes edible. If it only ever experiences conditions that are hospitable to us, it never fulfills its purpose of becoming useful to us. And so it may be that, if the entire universe was hospitable to life as we know it, kept at what we would testify to be a comfortable warmth, atmosphered and oxygenated, then the conditions would never exist for life to arise. Such a universe would only be plausible with theistic creationism, but could never give rise to life through the more logical natural process employed in pandeistic creation. And so it is the edge of a knife, upon which we balance. A universe, which contains the raw ingredients to generate life, must have a largely toxic brew, in which occasional bubbles will manifest the right combination of stuff to lock out the surrounding toxicity and let those normally caustic materials combine in their beneficial manifestation. It does not matter whether 99.9% of the universe is inhospitable to life, or even whether 100% will be over time. The function of the universe is to provide an environment in which life can evolve in some places, and the only sort of universe in which that will happen is one where the conditions exist for the elements of life, the heavier atoms, to first be forged in the hearts of stars. This requires vast expanses of blistering cold empty space for starbirth, and inevitably indulges the formation of every hostile radiation or compound. We are fortunate to live in a universe that is capable of sustaining those inhospitable processes which are nonetheless necessary for complex molecules to eventually string together as life itself. Whatever life-hostile phenomena are out there in the universe, they are part of the equation that is necessary for any part of the universe to be hospitable to life. To drive a final nail into the coffin of the inhospitable universe argument, mankind has spent decades now creeping into space, and has begun building long-term habitats there. We continue amplifying our ability to do this. And so, if we manage not to destroy ourselves, our destiny will be to possess the power to conquer and colonize vast stretches of the universe that we now call inhospitable.